It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. On my list I gotta finish my list of 4 because I wrote it down. And when you write something down, you have to check all the boxes. You guys ever run into that? Like you just gotta check boxes off. So point 1 is to like whether the demand comes first or the capacity comes first was like the value that each can provide, and the tech can provide more value. So that leans towards like technicians should come first and then figure out the demand side of it. Step 2 is what's actually harder to find. If you're in a recession, customers are harder to find. So that leads you more towards maybe we ought to do the marketing first and then we'll figure out the labor because the labor is more easily accessible. That was where I stopped. I got two more thoughts here. One is to Rob's point, if you have your marketing levers established. So if you're just starting out, and I have a bunch of bookkeeping clients where I kind of coach them on this. And James, I'm not qualified, so I should really send them your way. But I make it up as I go. If you have your marketing levers figured out and kind of a sequence and an order of operations of where, like SEO is, you got to start with that and website. And then you maybe do Google ads. And depending on where you're at, maybe it's Facebook or Home Advisor, or if you're on the West Coast, it's Yelp or something goofy like that. For us, radio and TV works really well. In Minneapolis, but it doesn't work for shit in Cincinnati. It's like every market is different, but figuring out your marketing levers when you have the confidence and it's hard to do that in year 1 or year 2. You might not have, like Pat Clark, who's a soft wash guy, is just all about clip flyers and they work, and he's in South Carolina and he crushes it with them. And in Cincinnati, they kind of work for us, but in Minneapolis, like we would get the cops called on us more than we would get customers. So it's just one of those things about like figuring out in your market what marketing levers work. And then you can like say, okay, we've got those marketing levers figured out. And therefore that makes the capacity more like that's the first thing that needs to happen. But at the same time, I'm going to say the thought that I'm having, I'm trying to figure out how to say it without sounding racist, but I see this in the home cleaning space. If you have a Hispanic population and they're super like family oriented and tight knit, and they are like your recruiting department, right? With maid service businesses that have really loyal Hispanic cleaners, they are your recruiting staff, and you have no trouble finding more cleaners because your team is your recruiting staff. They recruit all the people you would ever need from their community, and you won't find them on Indeed and you won't find them on Facebook. You find them by having a person that's influential in their community. And if you have that, you don't need to hire the employee first. You then go get the marketing first because you already know where your employees are going to come from because they're just going to call somebody within their network. One of my business, I say business partner because we function like that. I guess he's my employee, but we bought his business a while ago. He had a home cleaning business, and all of his employees were Amish, and they would just like call their sister. And his recruiting staff was literally his Amish employees, because if he ever had more demand than he could handle, they just brought 2 more people in a van. So to the opposite extent, it's whichever lever you figured out. Usually you figure out the marketing levers as you scale, and the recruiting's a little harder to figure out. But if you have a group like that where they recruit for you, then it almost kicks it back to the marketing of like, that's the thing you need to do because you already have the employees figured out. So that was kind of my third one.
Well, referral programs, everybody has to have that.
Yeah. on both sides, I think on both sides, referring employees and referring customers.
Yeah. I mean, employees, we give out. So for us right now, and we'll bump it up if like we really need people, but we're doing 2 different things. One is up to $1,000 or $1,500 for everybody you bring in, and you get paid $250 a month for every month that person's here, up to that 1,000.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, one of our mowing foremen brought in like 7 guys in the last year. I mean, $7,000 for not doing anything but trusting people will say, this guy will be really good. I've got friends. I don't want to work with them because they wouldn't be good here. I want the money. I don't want them to work here. I actually want the $250. I know they won't last. But they want them to last. And then, so we do that. throughout the year, all the time for everybody. And then what we're going to be doing for snow is like anybody you bring on, you're going to get paid a little bit more, like maybe $1 more an hour for everybody that you bring on during a snowstorm. So
nice.
You could make $5 to $50 more an hour. If you bring 50 people in to help, yeah, you'll get $50 more an hour.
Damn.
I heard that from a friend in town that does that too. And he said nothing but great things from that, because construction companies, they're not doing anything.
They're all shutting down.
Yeah. So then they ask their friends, hey, you want to go do snow for the night? You'll make X amount per hour. I make $1 off of you.
Mm-hmm.
Or in addition to your pay, I still get $1. And so it's whatever you can do to just promote from within.
You could probably find all the window cleaning and pressure washing companies in your market too, because they're all probably laying their guys off if they don't do snow removal. And most don't.
I mean, everybody's shut down if it's no snow, except snow removal people. If you're a contractor or you're interior.
Yep.
So if you're in a cold area, dude, yes. It's been nuts. I know you were saying that the people, as far as cleaning out, the irrigation lines and whatnot, we like want it to be slower, but we're keeping we wanted to run one strong guy on washing, and we had to run 2 trucks for a while, and we're still I'm giving people like 30, 40, 50% higher prices right now. And they're still saying yes to it. Like, I'm not even like, listen, it's going to be like 4 days from now for us to get somebody actually out to look at your house. Here's a price. Do you like that? Okay, cool. Book them. Like, and I feel bad for my sales guys because I just don't give a crap.
No,
I literally don't need you to sell. I just need to give them a price, let them say yes or no. And if you guys want to follow up and try and close afterwards, go for it.
And Dan, that goes into the push or pull too. I mean, if you can't handle all the backlog of work, your prices aren't high enough.